Have you ever wondered what the Jewish perspective is on some of the most well-known biblical stories? The concept of the chosen people in Judaism is often misunderstood. It doesn't imply superiority, but rather a unique responsibility to uphold God's commandments and be a light unto the nations. Regarding Adam and Eve, you may have thought that the fruit they ate was an apple, but that is not possible. The Torah doesn't specify the type of fruit, but rabbinic tradition suggests it could have been a fig, given the description of the leaves being used to cover themselves. The focus, however, is on the disobedience and its consequences, rather than the specific fruit. Regarding Moses, I'd like to offer a different perspective. According to Jewish tradition, Moses was instructed by God to speak to the rock, and water would flow from it. However, Moses intentionally deviated from God's command and instead hit the rock with his staff. By doing so, Moses made it seem like he was the one performing the miracle rather than God. This was a deliberate act, meant to deflect attention from himself and prevent the people from worshiping him as a deity. This would have led to idolatry, as we've seen throughout history with figures like Yeshua or Muhammad. As a result of this action, Moses was not allowed to enter the Promised Land. This consequence served as a reminder to the people that Moses was not the source of the miracles, but rather God. In this way, Moses' actions ensured that the focus would remain on God, rather than on human leaders or intermediaries. This theme of humility and devotion to God is a central aspect of Jewish tradition and teachings. In Judaism, we don't believe that Yeshua is the Messiah. Our Messiah is still awaited, and we continue to follow the teachings of the Torah and the prophets. It's also important to note that Judaism and Christianity have distinct differences in theology and practice. While we respect their faith, we cannot accept the idea that Yeshua is our Messiah, since he has not fulfilled the promises of the Jewish Messiah, such as rebuilding the temple, gathering the Jewish people, and bringing world peace. Additionally, the Jewish Messiah is to be fully human, with no special powers as a prophet shows, and have a human father who is a descendant of King David. Lastly, penalties, which I hear many Christians trying to use this as justification towards the Jewish nation. The idea of penalties for not fulfilling duties to God is not accurate. In Judaism, we believe in the concept of teshuvah, repentance, which allows us to return to God and make amends for our mistakes. What do you think is the most important aspect of understanding and respecting different faith traditions?